GIF thing from the movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Hey, all right, everybody. Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, yeah.
What up, what up, what up?
Oh, you already turned it on. I was going to turn it
Yeah,
on.
I pushed the button. So here
What's up,
we are.
kitty?
We are now going to discuss
You're not supposed to have
episode
it. That's
4
for ladies. I
from
told
season
you.
1. Diana will be joining us shortly, and I will put her in.
I'm making tonight's casserole.
Oh, nice. That's what we call multitasking.
That's right. I always do every day.
Late night snacks, right?
Why not? It works.
It's a cheesy tuna casserole if anybody's interested.
Yum.
Yum, I am sitting on my way.
Nice.
And it is in the oven, folks. In the oven.
Don't forget to set a timer.
I'm doing
Okay,
it now.
I gotta grab something. You guys continue to start. Halloween part 2. Part
No
1.
problem.
Halloween part 1.
So, okay. Hi, Miss Debbie. How are you doing tonight or today?
Hi, Debbie.
And we
I
got
hope everything's okay.
yeah, we got BRT.
Hey, B.
Yeah. BRT says your casserole looks yum.
It is.
Yep. Who else we got? Hi, Kaylee. How are you? You finishing the episode right now? That's cool. So we are going to be talking about episode 4 from season 1, which is titled Halloween Part 1. In this episode, we finally get to see Chad and Patrick.
Chad
and Patrick. So, the whole episode opens
In another flashback.
Yeah, it opened in 2010.
In a flashback of him carving pumpkins, which becomes a major problem later.
Yes, it does.
Well,
we opened the house in 2010 where we get to see, at the time we didn't know who it was, we get to see someone carving pumpkins only to find out that it's Chad carving pumpkins.
Zach Quinto.
Yes.
You know, I always liked that guy, but then I found out how much of a dick he is to people in real life.
Hollywood's worst.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmares.
And I'm like, dang, that makes me sad because I really like him.
Because he's so talented, he's so crazy, especially like when we get to Asylum, he's so fucking phenomenal.
I know.
He really is grade A dick. He's just an asshole from what I understand. Really, I had a friend of mine waited on him in Vegas and was really, really just almost cruel. He's just
I think I remember you telling me that story.
Mm-hmm. Pretty sad. Anyway, but in this, he's good. I like his character. Kaylee thinks I reminded him. Chad is me.
Chad is you?
Yeah.
You're Chad.
Wait, are you Chad or are you Patrick?
Chad, she says Chad.
Okay.
This representation, what I like about this representation is pretty accurate, pretty open on gay relationships, on disgruntled relationships, whatever. They don't beat around the bush with this one. It's like there's Patrick going out for sex, Chad over it, whatever, do you think? All it comes back down to the house. We're invested in this house. We're in over our head. It's a freaking nightmare. Do something about it. Man up. What I did find interesting, and we'll find out in part 2, but when Tate comes in the rubber suit, right at, not this scene, but it's like a couple scenes later.
A very graphic.
The timing is off because
my camera
doesn't it? I'm so confused. I think the timing's really off because doesn't he show up? We'll worry about it tomorrow. Anyway, so we're not there yet. Anyway, sorry. So he just says we're in over our heads.
In this episode, we get to see Tate. We get to see Tate in the rubber suit twice.
Yeah. This beginning scene is we just learned their relationship. We learned who they are. This is the couple before the Harmons. that ended up being murdered in the house. So we know they're going to be murdered. We know this is them. We know that they're already at the end of the rope of the house. We don't get to take yet. We just get to the point where Chad says, "Man up." That's it. Man up.
Yeah.
And then we get the credits. And I didn't see who wrote and directed this one.
I didn't either.
Let me look it up. So while you're going on that, let me look it up.
I was doing a mad dash to refresh my brain.
And like I was telling Dawn, fun fact, this is actually the shortest episode of the season.
Yeah, it was really short. When it ended, I was like, what?
Really short. Yeah.
It's only 39 minutes.
32, I think, digitally.
Yeah. Probably, yeah. And without the credits and everything else, yeah, probably. Yeah.
But we get more backstory of Adelaide and Constance.
Well, right after the credits, we go to Halloween Our Time. No. Right after the credits, we go to the meeting between Ben and Vivian and Marcy. And they're all sitting around, and Vivian's had it. I mean, now you only show the house once. What's the
only show the house once? What's going on? And then she says, well, we need to get a fluffer in here, and they don't know what a fluffer is.
Which traditionally, a fluffer is a gay porn actor who
right.
the guy prior to there's a movie called The Fluffer. This was about.
That would have been, you guys, that would have been a great role for Leslie Jordan.
Oh.
That character in. Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been like a combination of like all of his characters.
I know. Right? Tell me about it. So then they bring in.
Okay. This was written by 3 people this episode.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Credit order. Okay. It is Ryan Murphy, Brad, and James Wong.
Nice.
The writing of this episode.
Nice.
And then it was directed by another new one. Here we are with our first David Semel. Semel. David Semel is who directed this episode.
Okay.
We got and James Wong comes on the writing team and is another new director.
Yes, and he ends up directing a lot of pivotal episodes during this.
David does?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
James Wong.
Yeah.
James Wong didn't direct this. He wrote it. He's part of the writing team. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, James Wong is huge in a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
So
now we finally get to see Patrick and Chad standing on the porch. Hi, Di.
Hello. Sorry I'm late, kids.
It's all right. No biggies. We're all
beautiful lady.
Where's Miss Melinda? There she is.
She is. The gang's all here.
I can't read that. I lost my mouse and I couldn't get online. I don't know where the fuck it is, and I don't know how to use the bottom part of my laptop. I'm not very good with stuff like that.
I know that.
And I'm a little bit distraught over what's going on in life right now.
I love you so much.
I totally read that so wrong.
What?
We'll tell you after. I don't know what I was thinking. I just saw that went no.
All right, sorry, we got distracted there for a minute.
Not us. We don't do that.
We'll tell you later.
But anyway, we finally get to see Patrick and Chad standing on the front lawn, admiring the fact that the roses have white fly, among other things. Because they end up, which
this is interesting
end up being the fluffers, but
them coming as the fluffers was interesting too, because Marcy said she knows a couple. She knows this guy's gonna be a fluffer. So Marcy is now. We now have been told Marcy knows the ghosts.
Yeah.
So
that's an interesting new piece of information for this episode. Is that Marcy is in
I can't get my stupid. Damn it.
This is going to drive them or no of them? What do you mean? Like she knew them before they died, or she knows that they're ghosts in the house?
She said she knows she knows the fluffers. She's going to hire them a couple who are good fluffers for the house, and she'll bring them over. So I think she was referring to Chad and Patrick. And
no, her fluffers never showed, and never assume those are her fluffers. They're not her fluffers.
All right. Well, my bad. All right. Ignore me.
And she's like, "Are you guys the fluffers?" And they just kind of took that role.
Here we go.
I missed that then. Ignore it.
Drug out my Wednesday every Wednesday.
There you go.
Yep.
So anyway, we get Chad. Chad is the fluffer. He shows up at the door.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to Halloween in a second. So what happens after that?
So the next scene, you see them. They're all carving pumpkins, including Ben.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the long conversation of how much that they like Halloween and everything else along those lines, and the fact that Patrick likes to go to the bars and so on and so forth, and
screwing gym trainer.
So they basically get the idea that they're not in such a great place in their relationship.
Not in such a great
They're
place.
not a happy couple.
This is interesting. This is the first time we get the Halloween information that ghosts
they can leave,
come and go.
Well, that's when Travis is talking to Addie.
Story to Addie, yeah. But
and
that comes next.
He's in Constance's house and he's reading her a book, and they talk about Samhain. How Halloween is when the dead can cross over, and then that's when you start seeing all the undead people.
And surprisingly, right after that, see, if we were watching this for the first time, we still don't know Tate is a ghost. We still don't know what's going on. Right after Travis does the little thing with Addie, we see Tate and Ben out having coffee on the outside. It's like
and it's the first time you've seen him leave.
Here's the information.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't know they had so many flavors of coffee. It's like, who the fuck doesn't know that?
It's so hard to choose.
Yeah, they had told us since episode 1 that Tate is a ghost. It's so surprising how much clues are there.
Yeah.
But everything is there, but it just doesn't even click to me until a little bit later on.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm not going to get into, but when you look back at it later, you're like, damn, how didn't I know that? You know, like the whole Sixth Sense thing.
Yeah, you feel like you're clueless.
Well, the big thing that I pointed out in episode 1, I think the two big clues is the one here, Halloween, with him being on the outside, but the other big one is every time that we're in a significant moment with Tate and Ben specifically, there's that weird jump cut editing. It's that weird kind of flashy little, and it's like, what? Why do they keep doing that? It's like something screwed up, but no, they keep telling us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, the door pounding, bell ringing, Larry yelling, sound is good, creepy. Isn't that at the end?
That's at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when they leave Violet alone and they're in the hospital. So we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
But you're on the right track, BRT. It's totally good and creepy.
Larry does show up early in the episode. He shows up one of the first scenes in the episode. He shows up at the door. And what did he say in that scene?
He's playing the trick or treat game. He wants his $1,000.
Yeah, and Ben says, well, what are you doing out here? It's not Halloween yet. I celebrate Halloween all 7 days. You know, but the only time I can be myself. I want my $1,000. So give the man $1,000 already, so he'll leave you alone.
I know. What's with the $1,000?
Yeah, at that point, don't you think when this guy's already blackmailing you and everything else, just make him go away? Right. But like I said yesterday,
although at this point, I don't know if Ben has $1,000.
No,
everybody thinks Ben has lots of money.
At this point, Ben just watched him bury fucking Hayden in the backyard. So
I know. Yeah,
come on. Oh,
so
they did say
the Halloween bucket across the lawn.
Yes.
To get rid of Larry, so that scene is done, and then we end up going to Constance's house, and Travis is reading the book to Addie. After that.
Yeah. We did get a couple good therapy sessions with Ben and Tate. The first one that we got early in the episode, I believe, there is in the house, and that is when Ben is telling him, "You can't come in this house." And I was like, thank you,
well, he didn't want to treat him anymore, but the only reason he agreed to see him was because he helped the other night. And if it wasn't for Tate, they'd be dead, basically. Like, but Tate makes him reconsider.
Yeah, well, he's asking the right questions. He's like, what are you doing here? Why are you
Tate
here?
Is sitting there just crying and making him feel bad. And he's like, I know I crossed the line and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, he's manipulating.
In the meantime, we're going, dude, you have no idea yet how many lines this guy's going to cross.
Well, when you're first watching it, you almost have a little sympathy.
Yeah,
because you think he's just a fucked up kid who needs help, and you want Violet to have a boyfriend.
They make you want to love Tate the way he's written, the way he's manipulated, and that's part of the manipulation of the character. Tate manipulates everybody that he's around. He manipulated the audience, and it's like, he's such a gross.
That's how good Evan is.
Yep.
Yep.
There is.
His character is
gross.
I'm
so glad to see somebody finally ask him, what are you doing here? How do you keep getting in this house? I'm like, yes, finally. Thank you, Ben. But then Ben recounts and he says, I can't treat you here.
Yeah.
You can't be here.
You know, and then there's the story that Tate gives him about how he got into the house, that he was throwing pebbles at Violet's window. And
he's like, why were you even here?
So he came in. So he's, basically trying to cover his tracks so he doesn't realize that he's actually dead.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have believed him even if he told him.
Well, remember at this point, I don't know if it's part of the manipulation, and we'll talk about it when we get to that episode, which is actually tomorrow's episode.
Yeah.
But
he'll get it really soon.
Just take it.
Yeah.
Because that's
so they're having coffee, and then is it when they're having coffee that Hayden rings the bell?
No, that's at the end.
Okay, never mind.
When they're having coffee, it's just that we get to see them on the outside,
right?
And then this is when Ben breaks down. Brand breaks down, and Tate becomes a
therapist. That's when Ben turns into. This is when Ben. I want to say, don't be a fucking pussy.
Yeah,
exactly. Ben, man the fuck up. The beginning of the episode, man up.
Don't be a fucking pussy. That's
this is Spoga. This is.
I was watching Mike. Actually, my husband watched it with me last night, and we're looking, and I'm like, he's such a little bitch.
This is a turning point for Ben, because Ben basically gives up his control to Tate at this point. As soon as he breaks down and he loses the therapist boundary and turns to Tate, Tate is now in control of the situation.
Yeah, yep. And he knew it too.
And he knew it too.
That's what a sociopath would do. They use you for information and then use it against you.
Yep,
absolutely. So then Ben has a total breakdown, and then it's going to be Halloween. So oh my gosh, what's the name? The gay couple guys, what are their names again? Chad, right?
Chad and Patrick.
Okay, so Patrick and Chad, actually Patrick shows up and he gets mad at Vivian for wearing a Rite Aid witch costume.
That's Chad.
That's Chad. Okay, wrong guy. Yeah. Chad gets mad at her and, bloody face. Anyway, so anyway, he gets all pissed at her. What are you looking at me like that for? Oh, he wasn't looking at me. He was doing something completely different. I thought I pissed him off.
Uh-oh. Drama. We have dog drama.
There's a fight going on.
All right.
It is a weird ass day, you guys.
Yeah, we're having a weird kind of day.
What are you wearing, Donnie? What's your shirt?
I'm wearing my Asylum shirt.
Nice.
Last year.
Very cool. Okay, so we only have a half an hour, so is everything? I thought you were pissed at me for calling him that. I couldn't help it. I was like zoning out at his name, Zach. Right? His name is Zachary, isn't it? In real life.
Zachary Quinto, yeah.
Zachary Quinto.
So he gets mad at Vivian. And he says, you might as well have I thought she looked just fine. And then you see you see Ben come down, and he's just like a vampire. But they were before that they were reminiscing.
Right before that, they were reminiscing. Yeah.
We lost Diana.
Oh, we lost her.
Okay. They're making it where Violet is like this, like kind of doesn't get phased. Like every time he tries to scare her, like before all this happens, he asked her on a date, and he's trying to scare her, and he's like, "What do you mean?" Remember, he comes out in the rubber suit to Violet. We forgot that part in the beginning, and unless I missed it when you guys were talking before. Yeah. And then he's like, "What do you mean? I didn't scare you even a little bit?" And she's like, "No."
She's lying.
No, she just wants to slap her.
Lying.
She had the reaction once with the girl with "You believe in the devil." Well, that's cute.
There's Rubber Man right there. Nell's got him right in the hand.
And then she had the reaction when he pushed her up against the wall. She's like, and then she's just trying to be Billy Badass. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, that's cute. Know. She's lying.
Mm-hmm. Lying bitch.
I know. So then they get Vivian and Ben and Zachary Quinto get into a big fight, and then all of a sudden something happens to her stomach.
Yes.
And she has to be rushed to the hospital.
Yes.
But before that, he goes out and gets really pissed off and takes a my God, I'm sorry, my brain, you guys, it's just been such a day. He takes a golf mallet and he starts to rip everything to shreds in the front of the house.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I don't know if you see it then, but did anyone notice how they positioned the two skeletons in the front of the house but me?
No, I
did.
Position
one's bent over the other one, like he's doing the doggy style.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably Chad.
Probably Chad.
Chad.
So he has a total meltdown, and then Vivian has her stomach hurts, and then she and Ben have to go to the hospital.
But first,
so they tell Violet to go upstairs, lock the door, and she's like, "It's Halloween. You're telling me not to answer the fucking door."
First, we have to have Tate tell her the story of Mr. Montgomery.
Yeah, Carrie was just saying that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so this was right after they had coffee, or was it before? We might have gone way too fast, way too quick.
Yeah.
You guys
of Nora's baby. We have the introduction to what ends up being Gaga's baby for hotel.
That's he ends up being the infantata because of what Charles.
Yes, because what Charles Marx
Who ends up being in the infantata is their undead child, right?
The infantata
is the child
that is sewn back together by Dr. Frankenstein.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Montgomery.
Yeah, this is eye for an eye. So who was on the phone? We didn't know when we're watching this season, but when March calls her and says an eye for an eye, this is basically going back to the Gaga abortion story where it's all filled in. But we finally get that piece of information in this episode where somebody is threatening the Nora's baby, and that's the infantata.
Uh-huh.
Which now it's a regular baby first.
Did they show up with the box in this episode?
Huh?
Yeah, that happened before, and basically they wouldn't show her the parts because all the parts were in jars, and Charles saw it. Apparently, he took the parts downstairs and started sewing him back together because he wanted to try
while huffing the ether.
Yeah, because he wanted to cheat death.
The lithium that was been given to Ben. So when Tate and Violet are downstairs before he asks her on a date and they're doing the Ouija board is when we get all the backstory about Charles Montgomery and what he's doing, and he's all fucked up and he has a Frankenstein complex. And you see the whole dynamic and you realize all those jars downstairs that you saw in the first episode are all pieces of his experiments. And most of them came from the babies he took out of these women.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's like, what were they still doing down there? Because we saw them in the 1970s scene, correct? Yeah.
Well, it's in embalming stuff. That stuff.
Yeah, how many people have lived in that house? How many people have lived in that house? Constance and Larry and I think another family had lived there all since the Montgomerys. It's gross. Or is that a visitation from the ghosts? Is it spirit jars?
It's possible, but
no, because when they go downstairs,
they're breaking the jars.
They break in the jars.
Yeah, and one looks it stinks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're really down there. So all them owners, unless one of the ghosts put them all back up there.
When does Ben end up back in the basement and Nora lets him go? Is that at the end?
That's.
I just, a side note, thought of something with Montgomery and his, Frankenstein complex and all of the experiments with the aborted babies and everything. You said that was what, the 30s?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the Black Dahlia, so the 20s or the 30s.
Right. Okay. So when was Arden doing his experiments and such? Because that could be something where maybe he found one of like his manifestos or his notebooks or something, started trying to do his work, or maybe they went to medical school together or something.
Yeah, Arden
would have been after. Arden was World War II.
I mean, they did come from Massachusetts. That's probably the only thing I could think where they would have anything in common.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because Briarwood was in the 60s.
Briarcliff.
Briarcliff, I mean. I almost called Briarwood. Briarcliff was in the 60s, and this is like the roaring 20s. Like, when did the Black Dahlia die?
Yeah.
All we have to do is look, and when the Black Dahlia, I thought, died in the 30s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 30s, early 30s, I think.
Yeah. So then after that, that's when Tate basically asks her to, she wants to finally go out on a date. Why do we have to keep meeting down in the basement? It's all dark and blah, blah, blah.
1947. Way before Arden.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Hold on. So wait, Charles Montgomery treated the Black Dahlia.
Right, and she died, and he killed her, and she died in 1947, January.
So this is the 40s, so that is post.
Okay.
It was It was in the beginning. It was in the 40s. It was like the first. This is before Freak Show.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because Freak Show was in the 50s.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it really, really started with Murder House. If you look at every single thing, and well, Roanoke was way before that, but still.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in the 40s is when they moved out here. She was murdered in 1947. So even if he was in med school, and also Arden didn't go to medical school in Massachusetts, okay? We all know he was way east.
He was right.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have come in contact with each other because that was like right at the end of World War II, and he would have been dead not too long after that. So he's probably dead before the 50s.
Who?
Montgomery.
Yeah.
See, when did he buy the house?
He built it.
He make her that
built it.
Yeah, he made the house.
He built the house.
They must have moved over in like 1940-ish.
Yeah.
Which was very awesome because it's very Winchester Mansion-ish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, because it looks like something out of a Victorian house in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
If you go back east, that's what the houses look like. That's why that house looks so different than any other LA house, because he made it exactly how she wanted it. She said, look at the Tiffany this with the mahogany on the walls. She knew exactly what it was.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he made it for her with every detail. And then you have the spirits in the house and all of the
and it has a basement. California homes don't
have them, right?
No,
see,
they do not.
I'm confused. I thought I was right. See, the Black Dahlia has thrown this whole thing completely off. Charles Montgomery built the murder house in 1922.
Yep.
So they could have lived there for 20 years before she died. Maybe
when
they
did
moved
she
in their 20s. Now they're in their 40s. It's not that
She died
crazy.
in 47, I think.
She died in January 47.
30 years. Yes, it's 25 years. Yeah, so it would have been 25 years.
That wouldn't make sense because back in those days, they wouldn't live together and be in a mansion unless they're married. And when you got married, you started trying
Shot in the head by this is all confusing now. Shot in the head by Nora Montgomery in 1926.
Who?
Charles Montgomery.
That's when they died.
Maybe the ghost did it.
Oh, wait. Was that his ghost that was treating the Black Dahlia.
Yes.
We're not even there yet. We got
No. That was the dentist. The dentist.
Yeah.
The dentist is the one that tried to assault her and kill her. And Montgomery's the one who wanted to save her or fix her.
That's right. Yeah. The guy who killed the Black Dahlia was a dentist that was living in there. Wasn't Montgomery?
Oh, that's right. It was a different. I just saw the medical thing or whatever. Okay.
Anyway, I know this is.
That's right. Yeah, because when she came back and saw the. Well, yeah. Okay. Never mind. No, you. Yeah.
Two totally different people. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We're digressing.
Sorry, guys. We got you all. And BRT, yes, go back, and you could really see the skeletons when they come home from the hospital. When Ben and you could see them there when they're going through. So you don't know if the kids did it or Chad did it, but they're definitely. I can't believe they showed it on television. It's pretty graphic.
Patrick did it to piss Chad off.
I'm sure he did.
Chad did, yeah, and everything, and Patrick was like, "Watch this. This is me. This is my trainer."
Then again, the kids were pissed off because of the candy. I mean, there's so many people who could have fucked with those. I mean, it's Halloween because they egged the house. Remember the twins egged the house.
Yep, Halloween.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen until next episode.
So one of the most important things that I just don't want to forget comes out of my head. So when Ben and Vivian go to the hospital, they're trying to see if there's anything wrong with the baby. The technician or the nurse does an ultrasound. And when she does the ultrasound on the baby, when she looks at what she sees on the screen, which we think it has little hooves, very Rosemary's Baby, she fucking passes out. Out cold. Yep. She couldn't tell them anything. She couldn't do anything. And you'll see her in a later episode, but that's really key in what's going on here. I mean, we all I figured it out without knowing that, but I'm just like, okay, that baby's not. We are, so then she comes and all this stuff happens when she leaves the house. Again, it started when I left everything that happens to her. As soon as she gets home, she's better.
Yeah.
So when they get back home, that's when Hayden calls and shows up on the front door.
Hayden doesn't show up until the very last scene.
Vivian finds out
okay, that's the next episode. These are part 1 and 2, so I get them mixed up sometimes.
Vivian says she's going to call Hayden back early in the episode before the whole hospital stuff. She's like,
because
Hayden call her back.
And she says, I'll call her back.
Yeah.
And she's supposed to meet him at Norm's, and she doesn't. Oh no, that's after. That was
last episode.
My brain is just.
But so now they're at the hospital. The technician passes out. Then Violet calls because Larry is pounding on the door, demanding
crazy style.
I want my $1,000. You know, that kind of thing.
She's like, Dad, who's this crazy deformed dude who wants $1,000?
I want my $1,000.
And then he says, "Oh, is that the daughter?" And that really
daughter. Yeah.
And then she calls, and then they say, "Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere."
Oh, Bailey keeps reminding me. She keeps we keep skipping over scenes. I didn't write an outline this episode. You can tell. We got Moira and her mother.
Well, plus we have
Moira and her mother in this episode.
Wasn't that after? That was right before they all come back to the house the next day.
No.
It's towards the end, but it's when they all come back to the house. That's the final scene. When they all come back to the house
in the next episode.
In the next episode, that's the final scene.
What?
Yeah. So Moira and her mother next to part 2.
No, it's part 1.
No, she shows up
part 2.
She goes to the hospital in the first one because she asked Vivian if she could have Halloween off.
Right, but you don't see what she does till the second one.
Part 1 is when everybody leaves the house. We find out they can leave on Halloween. Everybody leaves. Part 2 is when they come back and when you're dealing with stuff there.
Yeah, so part 2 is when Moira and her mother have the thing together.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
She went this episode.
She went there, but that's all we saw.
Yeah. She went to the hospital. Yeah.
But this episode is interesting because Tate takes Violet to the beach.
Oh yeah. This is when they meet the teenagers.
No, that doesn't.
That's where they find.
It happens next episode. They haven't gone to the beach yet.
Yeah, next episode.
Because when they come home, they call her and they're freaking out because she's not there, and she says, "I'm fine. I'm with friends."
Yeah,
correct. That happened
in the very beginning.
We don't see her yet.
No, that was the very end of the episode.
Correct.
The end of the episode was Hayden ringing the doorbell.
Yeah, see,
Violet Tater at the beach.
Right now, Moira kills her mom in the first episode. It was in the first episode. I knew I watched that this morning. So let me see what the timestamp on that was. So we're getting all this confused. See, I only watched the first one. I didn't watch the second one yet.
I haven't watched the second one. I didn't do both of them. I did one.
Okay. So, well, I'll go through the scenes here really quick because we got them all. This two-part we should have just done both of them.
Yeah, it would have been easier.
All right. So, it would have been. Okay, so we've got. Of course, my Wi-Fi is going to act up. Yeah, let's turn the Wi-Fi off.
Oh, and I have some at the end of the show that I want to share with everybody because I know like all of our viewers that are here right now are like our main people.
Yeah.
So Ben, okay, so we know Chad and Patrick. Opening credits. Okay, so here we go. Her mother said, "Come with me." More said, "I cried, I can't." Okay, so
I want to
timestamp in 20 minutes. 20 minutes in is the whole infantata stuff, and then we got about
when she's talking to when Tate and Violet are downstairs in the basement.
Yeah,
and she's like, "Why can't you take me on a regular date?" And he said, what tries to scare her, and then they do the Ouija board.
Bitch, cause I'm a ghost.
But she don't know that yet.
But he had the rubber suit on. Ready. This is when you see him in the rubber suit. He takes it off, and then you realize he's the one that raped Vivian.
Yep.
Kids show up at Halloween. Wait, what?
It's not till the second one.
No, it's the first one.
Michael, what are you looking for?
On the first one. I'm on Halloween Part 1. I'm confused.
All I know is the
story of my life.
The first part of the episode ends up with Hayden ringing the doorbell, and
that's the end.
And Ben answering the door and then closing it.
Right. Yes, Hayden's standing right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the end of the episode. At least this part.
Okay, so it's 13 minutes in. She asks for Halloween off, and then she goes to see her.
Oh, and Vivian's put in a new security system.
Yep.
Yep. And Tate scares Violet. And then we've got the infantata story, the backstory with the telephone call, and the police show up. Throwing the baby together.
Well, you see Moira in the nursing home, and she says she wants to come with her, but she can't.
Yeah, because she took the.
Oh, I guess she did kill her. She killed her.
Yeah. Pretty girl.
Okay, we left all of Addie out, you guys.
I know. I was trying to get back to it. Because she ended up.
Yeah, all the pretty girls are having this episode.
Yeah, she ended up going up and hiding under Violet's bed. And then Violet did her makeup because she wanted to be a pretty girl. And then went back home, and Constance got mad at her because she had makeup on.
And told her she was a whore and she had to be Snoopy.
Yeah, basically, like, who did that to you? And she said, Violet. And well, Violet needs another cupcake in her life. She basically, and then
gives her the mask.
Yeah, she basically, Addie runs out of the room because Constance is being Constance. That's all I can really say on that one, because there's never actually any physical abuse, but mental, yeah.
No, it's all mental abuse in that.
It's all over the place. So she runs upstairs, and what's the next scene after that?
Well, she goes out.
And she goes out with her mask on.
Because
she gives her the mask.
Because she comes up and she tries to be nice to her, and then she shows her that she got her the pretty girl mask.
Pretty girl
she
mask.
doesn't have to.
I want to get a replica of, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I have all the other ones. But that was a scary as hell mask. Like,
I know, wasn't it?
You're ashamed of your kid because they have a deformity.
But you know what? I don't think
that was scarier than any person.
This one says after Moira's mother dies, Violet has another visitor, and and behind her, the latex man gets closer. When Viv and Bevy get home, Violet is gone, but then the doorbell rings and it's Hayden, and that's the end of the show. Yep. We're getting the lines blurred.
Yeah,
I apologize, everybody.
When you're really starting to question.
This 1 and 2 parts was really kind of messing us up. So this one actually felt like it went really fast to me and didn't show very much. Thank God I watched it after the fact and able to go right to the next episode, because if I was watching this live, I would be pissed.
But we haven't talked about the fact that Addie went out. Okay, she went out.
It didn't show her going out till the next episode.
She went out in her pretty girl. No, that happened in this episode because I just watched it. She went out in her mask, and she went to Violet's house because she wanted to show Violet, but Violet didn't answer the door.
True. It was before Larry
showed up.
And that's when she chases after the other girls, right?
Yeah, she went to follow them and got hit by the car.
And that's all you see. Yes, you are correct, Dawn.
It's like the saddest moment in this episode or this season. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
Oh, it's horrible.
It was horrible.
The injustice of Addie is terrible.
I know. And then Constance tries to drag her to the lawn so she'll be with her friends, but she dies before that.
It shows that in this episode? I thought okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She tries to get her to the lawn in time, and she wasn't able to do that. So Addie didn't pass on the property, and that's all we see.
It's so emotional, just the whole pleading, because it's weird to be around that house, to have your whole family based around that house, to know what the house could do, and to know that, you know, if my child dies or my loved one dies, I still can see them. We just gotta make sure they die in the house.
You mean kind of like the Hotel Cortez?
So the loss of that was Addie's real loss to Constance.
Yeah.
It was very so Addie gets dressed up for Halloween and she tries to chase the pretty girls, and a car hits her, and what sucks too is she's just laying there. Nobody runs over to her.
Oh, it's sad.
I felt like it was so long before someone said something.
The way her body ricochets off the car filmed so well. It's like,
Jamie Brewer was amazing. The way that she
that hit and run was definitely way better than the Apocalypse hit and run. I mean, obviously we know the disappointment, but I'm saying the way it was
so believable.
The way it was filmed, the audio of it, just visually, if you don't know the story, just those two scenes and you see them. The one with Addie was so much more dramatic, and I'm sure it was supposed to be, but it was just, it was so much more dramatic and sad. And
interesting. BRT, that's what got you hooked.
Yep. I agree, BRT.
Wait, hooked on the show or hooked on Jessica Lange?
I think the show.
Hooked on all of the above.
No, I'm sure. I'm just saying,
the third episode. We're only on the third episode.
That was amazing by Jessica Lange, that performance.
Yeah. Well, this is only episode 4, and look at everything we've had to deal with so far.
Yeah.
Every moment, Jessica has been given several of those moments.
Yes.
Because she can carry it. She can handle it.
She's amazing.
She's Jessica Lange. I mean,
hello.
When you haven't seen her in a little while, when she starts in American Horror Story, you kind of haven't seen her for a while again.
Yeah.
And what's really funny, and this is going backwards now, but remember when she was talking about how she had to come to Hollywood to be an actress? And at the time, nudity was in the fashion, and she didn't want to be up there with her boobs out, which she was in King Kong when she her first movie. She was topless, which I thought was really kind of like funny. I'm
probably specifically why they wrote that line in.
Of course they did. And she looked amazing, and she looked wonderful.
Yeah. You know what? I want to go back. If somebody knows or finds out what episode and where was that at? Where that line was at when she said that about the actress and the boobs, because I want to look at her face, and I guarantee you there's probably a slight smirk on her face because
it was
of
either
the
one or
irony.
two. It was in the very beginning when she was explaining to Vivian why she came to California from Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
So is
So it might have been in the very beginning when it was either. I want to think episode like when she first introduced herself and started stealing the silverware. She had to give her some kind of a story.
Yeah.
What did Kaylee say?
All right. What did Kaylee say, Michael?
No, she says it's even more heartbreaking that that Addie didn't get to go. You know, the way Constance reacted to Addie's death because she had just done probably one of the nicest things she's ever done for her. You know, we've seen the abuse, we've seen how terrible she is, and she wanted her to be the pretty girl. She wanted her, you know, to wear the mask and just she wanted her to be a pretty girl on her terms. And you know, by her allowing her to do that, and then her holding her and saying, "But you are a pretty girl," and that's just sad.
Yeah, heartbreaking for sure.
Yeah, BRT said that was
show.
Hooked him on the show. Yeah.
So that's where it ends. Let's see. So you know, I'm the timekeeper. So we have 7 minutes, Melinda. We could actually probably go over a couple.
Actually, by my clock, we have 15 minutes.
Oh, did you guys start late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean you to start late.
We figured that way would give you a little time too. Plus, everybody needed a minute. I was being Martha Stewart and all.
She's doing the whole Martha Stewart thing in the kitchen, which is appropriate for our channel.
Yes, absolutely. Everything's appropriate for our channel. That's the whole
No. Don't say everything. You get the freaks out there, like not the freaks we want though.
I mean like cooking and crafting and music and American Horror Story.
And collectibles and
collectibles and Harry Potter. By the way, we found out Melinda is a Gryffindor today. So
shocked.
We're just missing.
I know. That's what I said too. I'm like, I'm so shocked.
Donnie, weren't you a borderline Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw? Yeah. Donnie was a borderline Hufflepuff, like on the cusp.
Right on the cuff of.
I could see that.
She was a cusp of the Hufflepuff and the Ravenclaw. So then that would mean that we would be all four individual, which would have been pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. It would be cool.
I mean, I could switch mine if I wanted to.
No, you cannot. You do not betray House Eagle.
And we could almost call ourselves. We could call ourselves the DM channel because you have to be D's and M's.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the D's on one side, the M's on the other.
D.
Go ahead.
Why can't we be MD? Then we could be like, you know, professional.
Oh yeah, MD or
MD
or mad, not the bad mad, but mad like pissed, like MAAD.
Yep.
No, MDA. No, that's not right. Never mind. No A's.
We don't want to be MADD because that's Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
No, not that. I'm just thinking of the MD.
All right. So does anybody else want to add anything?
Those are two consonants. They won't work anyway.
We have officially ended today's episode. Does anyone have anything else to add?
And tomorrow's episode is going to be important because tomorrow's episode when we get the reveal, get the big reveal about. So that's
tomorrow's episode is going to be awesome. I'm so sorry that happened, awesome. Debbie. Let us know what happened to your puppy.
What happened to the puppy? What?
She had to run. Great stream, y'all. Odo just got the chocolate chip cookies my husband left out, and I'm trying to make him.
Oh no!
Dogs can't have
He's
chocolate.
At 3:15, so she had to go take care of her puppy.
Yeah, dogs.
Odo.
Yeah, you don't want dogs.
Baby.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Well, she'll let us know, I'm sure.
This was from 3:15. I guess when I click it shows up. Or did it just how did those show up? Did we tell it?
Yeah, she ended up having to leave to take care of Odo.
Oh yeah.
Because of that. Dogs and cats cannot have chocolate.
So we had Debbie, BRT,
no grape.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got something in the mail yesterday that I was waiting to show everybody today.
Uh-oh. Here we go. The big reveal.
Okay, ready? Let's step back.
Aww.
Oh, Pepper.
I'm getting the glare from the phone, so I'll try.
Oh, that is so cool.
And look at, I love how she also signed it as Pepper on the side.
That's so cool.
Did you write? Did you write directly to her to get that, or was this just a fan service?
Fan service. I bought it from.
Yeah, because some actors you could write to them directly.
And you know what? You know what? I bet you that's not a bad idea right now, especially too, because they have the time.
Well, yeah, everybody's on lockdown right now.
That's
and they say the way to do it is by mail, by snail mail. Just send them something in the mail to their. Well, see, that all goes to PO boxes, goes to agencies and stuff. So it might be a little.
No, but I mean, the best way to get a hold of them is to just when they're live or something, or send them a DM and see if they answer you.
But they won't answer you like publicly. I wouldn't imagine, because then everybody would want to do it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, but if you DM them, they're not gonna. You DM them.
That's true.
Since we're the DM,
doing everything through the computer now, right?
Yep.
Yep.
BRT says that's awesome, Mel.
Thanks, B.
Yep.
Oh, today's one is something special, something different. These are. Wait, let me just do it in this one. Okay, so.
Oh my God, it's raining.
So, you guys may not know, but the story of Harry Potter continued on stage. There's a Broadway show. It's called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is basically the sequel to all the Harry Potter films.
Outside, I have to go put the news in the rain. Keep going, Mike.
Is that when
the new movies are like they
decided on Broadway to get naked? I'm just joking. I know it wasn't, but I'm joking.
So the new Harry Potter Broadway show is basically the sequel of Harry Potter, and they do all the merchandising is really, really, really high class. It's gorgeous merchandising. So these are the wand boxes, the ones that you get from the Cursed Child from the actual stage show. They're all felt wand boxes. And then their wands are exactly like the same company, same wand makers, everything that does this. And so this one is Harry's son. This is his son Albus. His wand.
That is so cool. Let me see the top of it. Flip it over. Let me see the whole thing. There we go. That is so cool.
That wands come from the show. They're really they're so high end. They're so nice. They really, really take care. And there's a lot of controversy around that show. Fans do not like it. They don't like the story. They're pissed off that J.K. Rowling didn't fully write it herself. She had a team of writers on it. But the one thing that they do that is really special about it is they take so much care with this show. I mean, all of their stuff is high end. All the actors take everything so seriously. It's really cool, and the magic is really cool on stage. So it was playing San Francisco, London, Australia, New York, but of course, like anything else, everything goes down. But you go catch it. It's 2 parts. It's an interesting show because there's very few shows that are like this. But Harry Potter, Angels in America, there's a couple shows. It's a 2-part show. It's basically almost 5 hours of theater. So you can go see part 1 on one day, part 2 on another day. You can get a double show where you can see them together on whatever. So, but if you want to hear the whole story, you got to go see part 1 and part 2. So it's really interesting. Angels in America was the same way. That play. So that's what this one is today. I'll do a series on them.
Are you writing them down?
Of course you will.
Yeah, write them down.
I would go back and look at them, and it's like you can't see. And the way I will go back and do it at some point when the Wi-Fi gets back running right.
Yeah.
Because right now the Wi-Fi is so screwed up. I have to go get to the end to be able to really tell what they are. And if buffer all that to the end of each video, oh, forget it. It's crazy.
Yeah. So we're actually early, but you know what? I think that's okay.
I think we're good. I mean, I'm good today. I'm not.
Yeah, we got a big part coming tomorrow.
Oh, I know. We got the big part coming tomorrow. So yes, we will be back tomorrow at 3 to continue.
3-ish. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's my bad, you guys.
We never start on time, but that's okay. But we'll be back tomorrow to discuss part 2.
BRT, go back and watch the skeletons. It's really fucking hot.
Yeah, go back and watch it. It's really funny.
It's so funny. I paused it. Mike didn't see it either, and I paused it at the frame. Yeah. And it just looked so lewd. It was funny. Like, that really happened on Halloween.
I laughed hysterically when I saw that because I didn't realize. I had to go back because I wait. Did I just see?
I just noticed it the other day. I think I might have noticed it a long time ago, but last night I was watching it in the living room. I usually watch it on the other TV, and I looked at Mike and I started laughing. He's like, "What's funny?" And I'm like, "Look." Well, thank you guys so much, BRT and Debbie. We hope everything is fine with your puppy. Please let us know tomorrow if you're around. Katie.
Yeah.
Katie, call me. This is us again.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you all tomorrow.
And for anybody watching on the replay, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Even though we're a little crazy, if you're crazy too, then you know you belong here.
Yeah, you'll belong perfectly with our group. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Bye. Have a great day.
And we're out.
Bye, guys.
No, we're not.